Hello everybody. My name's Alyssa Cooper and this is Cooking in Quarantine. So today, hello everybody. One of the things that I have read recently is that the sale of chopped meat, ground turkey, ground chicken, all of this has skyrocketed during these last few months. And so I thought, what could be better than to sort of experiment around a little bit and try to find some new and exciting things that we can do with those kinds of things. So what I'm going to do today is I got a pound or so of ground turkey this morning, and I noticed that they had something horrible, which was ground turkey breast, which I can't even imagine how terrible that must be. And I also realized that after a long weekend off, that my camera angle is a little bit off. So let's see if we can alter this a little bit. And that's too high. So let me see here. My goodness gracious sakes alive. You guys are all very patient. Boy, I should put that plant back up there because my fuse box is not a good look. Let's try this again. Okay, is that better? Okay, that might be better. Now, let's take two. Much better. So, guys, welcome. I'm going to make a little turkey meatballs. I have a little box of butter lettuce here. I'm going to make a cranberry vinaigrette. I took just a little couple tablespoons of cranberry sauce, like for real, Thanksgiving. And I've got this melting, and not melting, but kind of sitting here. Hello, Denise. And I've got some with both a little white balsamic vinegar because that's a little sweeter, and also a little apple cider vinegar. And so here's what my plan is. A couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine called and said, I'm going to make turkey burgers for dinner. Do you think if I put more oil in my pan or whatever, that they'll be better? And I said, you know, what you need to do is treat them like you're making a meatloaf. And so with a meatloaf, I would always start with carrots, some bell pepper, some onions, some garlic, and I would saute that, let that come to room temperature, and then put that into the meat and my binder and my egg and all that to make meatloaf. So I said, treat your turkey burger much in the same way. And so all your oily mirepoix is then going to get into that meat and make it a lot. Well, my friend called and said, oh my gosh, this is inspired. I can't believe it. And then another friend, when I was telling this story, reminded me that Rachel Ray, who you guys know that I love, just grates onion really fine right on the box grater, right? So this is literally like putting flavored water into your meat. So I always feel like that one of the most underused things in the world is celery. And my friend Sale will tell you that juicing celery has saved her life. So there must be magical healing properties in it. So there, I've probably got about a couple tablespoons of this. And now I'm going to take this and give it a good grate. I've got it on the fine in the back. And I just want to get the flavor and the yum, and it smells so great. I feel like that celery is overlooked. A couple of, I guess last winter, we were at the excellent dumpling house near my house, and I ordered a little stir fry that had really nothing except a lot of stir-fried celery, and it was absolutely delicious. And here I am more than a year later thinking back on it. Now I've just got here maybe about a quarter pound of meat, because one of the things that I've learned here recently is that, boy, it's a bummer when you make so damn much food and I just can't eat the same thing over and over and over again. So here I've got celery and onion in here. I'm going to give it a few healthy, yummy cranks of pepper here. And of course, some good salt too. Excellent. And then I started thinking about it, since I'm doing cranberry. One of the things that we would use, I would always use not so much oregano, but there's a little oregano. And if I've got a big fresh thyme in here, I'd give it some time, but I don't seem to. I am going to give it a little toss of garlic powder because why not? And what else? Oh, here's some thyme, hooray. And I'm going to give this a little time. Just because to me, the use of the cranberry and turkey always makes me think about Thanksgiving. And I saw a funny meme the other day that said, turkey is so terrible that we had to create a holiday in which we were forced to eat it. So now I'm just going to mush this stuff together here. Just mush it together. Mush, mush. Try to get all of that onion and celery stuff and fold that in here. I'm sure my jeweler is going to be thrilled that I'm doing this with my rings on. Hello, Monica. How are you anyway, babe? So there, that's all together. Now, because I'm making these into meatballs, I think I'm going to put a little bit of binder in here. And now I kind of wish that I had already made croutons out of my leftover cornbread, which I thought would be really good on this, but I haven't quite gotten that far yet. So let me see. I've got a little panko up around here somewhere. Here we go. Panko it is. So I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of panko in here just to give it a little bind, but not too much, because I'm not one of the things like, you go and you think, oh, yay, I'm going to have a crab cake, and then you realize, no, I'm having crab-flavored corn, cracker crumbs, basically. And now, in order to keep my fingers out of this, I am going to get a fork here, and we'll move this around just a bit. So I turned the air conditioning off in here, because I know that it seems like it makes a lot of noise to me here, but I realize that on the videos, it doesn't actually have that much of a difference. So just a little bit, and that's just really grabbed all the rest of the stuff there, just that little, maybe 2 tablespoons of panko there. So before I start rolling these out, I'm going to turn my AC on. Pardon me. Woohoo. Excellent. Things will be better. So hello, Cousin Kathy, and hello, Denise. So guys, we use a lot of celery at home. That's great. I like that. So I'm just going to I think I should probably start a little oil in my pan here. I'm going to try over here. Not sure. I keep accidentally overboiling the milk and ruining my burners here because I like my coffee nice and hot. And so I always have a little pan that I heat the milk up in every morning. And let's see, what am I doing oil-wise? I really have got to go to the grocery store here sometime in the near future because I'm running very low on all sorts of things. So I'm going to have to use the super good olive oil today, what I would normally just finish with or make salad dressing with, but that's okay. So I'm going to take this little batch, and it looks like a really nice big burger right here. So now I'm going to turn this into maybe 6, seems about right. That seems about right. 1 and 2, yeah. So now I'm going to have 6 cute little balls here, and I think that will make for a perfect little lunch, right? 3 meatballs is a perfect appetizer, so 6 meatballs is different. So you could take this, and let's say we put a couple of drops of soy sauce in here, a couple of drops of sesame oil. We could quickly and easily throw these over noodles, right? I should probably turn this heat way down. There we go, way down. And this bowl seems a little large, so let's make it a little smaller. And so again, I'm just going to have this with a little light, easy salad. I'm going to cut up a couple more ribs of celery so that I can have some delicious celery. So these are turning out really nicely, just perfect. I'm going to have 5 that are perfect and 1 that's just a little small. Let's see if I can make this one a little bigger. There we go. Perfect. Little meatballs. Meatballs. Clean hands. Oh, humid, huh? So it's supposed to be terrible. Luckily, when I went out for groceries this morning. It was not absolutely miserable yet, but I am more than happy to stay indoors the rest of the day. It's just a few weeks until we get to the place where it's not going to be too hot to be outside anymore. So we did have a couple of really awesome, I feel like I had a towel here. A couple of awesome days this weekend that were really nice to be out in. Now I forgot when I went to the store this morning, so I'm going to get this going too. I bought a few little new potatoes to fill this out. You know, all again things that kind of go together. And then I've got the leftover, some leftover cornbread from last week. And guys, I'm going to sing my own praises because this was not my first. This was exactly my first time of making that recipe, and it was fantastic. It's stayed moist for days and days and days. As a matter of fact, I let it sit on the countertop in the cast iron until yesterday, and I'm just going to say to you, here I am, and it's moist still today. I mean, it's not perfect but still. So I think I'm going to cut this up and put this in the oven to maybe make some croutons because it's so good. Just really good. So, and I think so for forgiving, I think you could put all manner of things in there. So my oil is currently too hot. So while it's smoking, I'm going to set it over here. I'm going to start the water here for my little potatoes. I just got a few of them. And this is a handsome boyfriend trick. We cook them in super, 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 super salty water. Almost so salty that sometimes I'll come in here and there'll be salt all over this. And they're really great. And then you just sort of scuff off the salt, and they are delicious. And they're almost creamy and almost like mashed potatoes inside their own salty little skins. One of my favorite things. All right, so the heat is low. This is coming. And let's see what happens if we put these little guys in here. That's a perfect sound. A wonderful sound. Just the sound of sizzling deliciousness, right? Perfect. So, first day of school. Wow, guys. Yeah, we were talking today. One of the things that I've been tasked with during this time is to keep a lookout at the real estate in New York and what's happening there, so that we can try to figure out when is the right time to commit for the long term, right? So I would like to say a shout out to Jerry Seinfeld and a vafangul to the guy who on LinkedIn said New York is dead forever. We are happy that you've gone to Florida and we don't want you back. So New York will never be out. Location, 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 guys. You can't do theater, you can't make art when you're alone and nobody to work off of. So New York is never dead, New York is never out, and that's why I'm right here. That's why I could have run home to my mommy and daddy and had a little bit more outdoor space or whatever, but it's not who I am. I don't know if I've told this story on here, but about 20 years ago, I had been here 10 years, and I thought, you know what, I've done my 10 years in New York. I'm a New Yorker now. I can make different decisions. Maybe now is, New York is not really the thing that I need to do. And I started looking into things that I might do, looking into moving back to Kentucky. And I had a rich plan. Back in those days before our iPhones, right, we all had to have a day planner. And my day planner on September 10th was completely full of list after list after list, because I always had the big ones, of things that I needed to do to prepare to move. The next day was 9/11. I never, ever, ever thought about moving back to Kentucky ever again. That was over. That was done with. So now I'm going to give those guys have browned up and the meat has caramelized on the bottom side. So I'm going to give them a little turn. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. So if you ever thought you were going to leave, this is so not the right time to leave. I feel like why in the world would you want to leave just when everybody thinks that running is the thing to do? You stay and you face your fears, I say. Okay, nice and cranberry, but very tart. So, number one, a little honey is going to go in here, making my salad dressing, which you guys can't see because I'm so far away. Here we go. Let's pull this back. Bum-ba-da-da. There's my little thing. So, I have here cranberry sauce dissolved into about a half a cup of vinegar total. And then, of course, this is going to need some salt. Boom. And again, I think that we probably should put a little herb in here. So Italian seasoning has all of those things that you would probably use in various and sundry dishes at Thanksgiving time. And I think I'm thinking a lot about holidays because I realize unless things change in a really big way, which they're not gonna because we're Americans and we don't do big change, do we? Not easily. And I'm thinking that I'm probably not going to be able to get home for Christmas this year. And I've never done that, except one year when the University of Kentucky was playing in a basketball tournament up here a couple of days after Christmas, and literally my whole family got up on the morning after Christmas and drove here. That still was a really crappy Christmas. I did not enjoy being away. So I guess I'm thinking about making holidays, since I might have to make my own holiday stuff on my own. So I've been meaning to do that. I accidentally put sea salt in my little salt guy instead of kosher salt. So I'm going to fill this guy up with kosher salt now, overflowing, so that I can dump the extra right here in my super salty water. So now I know that there are probably some of you out there who might have some health concerns that make it inappropriate for you to have super salty little potatoes. I'm sorry, don't do it. Although I think that there are some salt substitutes out there. I don't really know much about them. But here we go. So I'm going to add a little olive oil here. And I know that most people say that you should have like one third vinegar or 1/3 acid to 2/3 oil. I don't believe that. I believe that the acid is what's important. So now I have all of this, and as soon as that's all together, I'm going to stick it over here in a little jar. I save all kinds of little jars specifically for salad dressings. So here we go. Ooh, there we go. Excellent. And then you can do all kinds of exercising things with it. Try not to let your underarm flab move while you do this. That's really hard. That makes you use all of your muscles. What you do on one side, you got to do on the other. Oh yeah. There we go. Now, let's see. We're about to get I'm going to get the last big edge of my meatballs in here to, let's see, that one needs to come there. I need that one to stand up on its very own. So let's, oh, there. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, that needs to stand up there. Okay. This one needs to go here. I feel like I'm making Rubik's Cubes. All right, now my water is boiling over here for my potatoes. So I'm going to give them all a little poke, 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 poke. So it looks like I have gotten myself 7 tiny little Yukon Golds. We're going to stick them in there and just let them boil. Now, let's see how this salad dressing is turning out. It's still a little gelatinous in there, but oh, that's delicious. That's really good. I like that. So making your own fruit vinegar, I think, is better than buying fruit vinegars. I've just proven that to myself. And let's see, that little guy needs the side. Needs a little more cooking on that side. Come on, stand up for me. Haven't made a lot of meatballs in my life. I think that's something that comes with having children, is mastering meatballs, right? All right, so this is all good. And I think that that's kind of, we're getting close. So what I'm going to do to finish this is I'm going to take a little here and give myself a nice, pretty nice on the bias, if you will. They just look prettier when they're cut that way, I feel like. A little big, make them a little smaller. I'm going to clean up the edge of my onion here. And we'll just use those little bits of onion in our salad too. A little fresh onion is always good for crisp. Yum, yum, yum. Then when the potatoes are done, they'll go around the edge. So I love a composed salad so much. And so I think I'm going to do this in a little bowl. And I think I mentioned last week that my friend Caroline asked me to agree to, what do you call this, intermittent fasting. So I can eat from noon to 8. And so here's going to be my meal number 1. So let's see what we got here. And I'm going to take my onions and my celery, and that's there. I'm going to check out. Got another spot here where I feel like that's still pink in there and it wants to cook a little more. And let's see. These are looking so beautiful, caramelized. Let's see, there's another little edge there that can cook. These are looking great. And so I'll take my greens. I'll put my little meatballs here around the edges. I'll intersperse with potatoes cut in half, and then just drizzle them with my salad dressing. And then I've got a perfect and beautiful, lovely little lunch, right? Everything's pretty clean and fresh. Nothing's gonna hurt the figure, right? So what do you think, guys? I hope everybody has had a great day. As you know, my true belief is that there's only one way to be handling this crisis, and that is wear your mask, take care of yourselves, take care of your people, take care of your community, right? So make something good to eat and find something good to do. Find something outside of yourself good to do. Do something kind for somebody else. It's the only way we're going to survive, because dudes, we're in the countdown, but it's going to be another year. I really believe it. So anyway, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your people, take care of your health, take care of your mind, take care. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow on Cooking in Quarantine. Share this far and wide. I love you all. Ciao.